Yeah.
I want to make a point to kind of talk about his point. In Pakistan, whenever I go, a friend of mine who not a lot of people here knows would say, go to this homeopathic store and buy me R6, R20, this one, that one, and he is very, I guess, into that. And now, from what you just said, I understand that dates back to Hanuman. And those R20s or those R6 or, excuse my ignorance, those are all, I think, made in Germany or somewhere. And then you have in Pakistan, and there's stores on every corner that sell those. And then you have stores that sell traditional herbal medicine. And it seems like what you're saying is that those clear bottles of R6 come from the herbal medicine through his studies. And so are kind of, is there a relationship?
Okay, homeopathy as such was a science and an art that was developed and began in about 1812, Hahnemann, Austrian man, published the first book on homeopathy, the Organon of Medicine. And that's when it began in its modern form. Hippocrates recognized the principles. Ibn Sina described the principles. Many traditional physicians in the old schools, traditional schools, recognized and articulated the principles of it. He took the principles and ran with it and developed it as a medicine that could be used. And so that science really began a little over 250 years ago, up until the present time. So in that medicine, they use a lot of traditional herbs, plants, but they use all kinds of odd things like horse sweat. They use all sorts of very odd things, and part of the mercy is the recognition in Allah's creation are all of these extraordinary things that have credible properties for healing. That's part of the awesome proof of homeopathy in a certain sense. So you find those in those countries. Homeopathy is very big in India, Pakistan. Many people say it's big there because those people traditionally can recognize or have been able to recognize and hold to the idea that subtle things have a reality. And that in places like this country, what happened is homeopathy was growing and was becoming what was called the new school of medicine, and at the turn of the century was like taking over the country in terms of medication. Any of you from San Francisco? You know San Francisco? You know the UCLA hospital over there in San Francisco? What do they call it? You know that main hospital? Yeah, UCSF. That hospital, that was a Hanuman, that was a totally homeopathic school at one point historically, at the turn of the century. And the entire faculty and student body did provings of remedies at around 1900. And they have in the basement of their library sort of stacked away all of the journals from the 1800s, which are incredibly rich with studies and case studies and so forth of homeopathic cases, et cetera, et cetera.